Okay, I thought what I'd do here, at least try to, is give Shootout Hockey Easy version a try here on camera. I've played a couple of games of it now, and this will be games 3 and 4. What I'm doing here, I'm in the middle of doing a 12-game round robin schedule for what I call the Tournament of Presidents. It features 6 teams that all won the President's Trophy. So in this first matchup, I have the 1966-67 Chicago Blackhawks up against the 99-2000 St. Louis Blues. And it's really a pretty straightforward game. I mean, right now, for instance, I'm looking at Chicago, and since they're away, their offense is automatically a C, and I'll roll to see who is the goaltender for this one. Though, I mean, in a tournament, I don't know. On one hand, in a short tournament, I would think they go with their number one. On the other hand, Glenn Hall is a legend. So let's see if he gets the start here. Chicago is also coming off a 5-3 loss to the 1996 Detroit Red Wings, so they might even want to come back with Glenn Hall. With a 24, that will be Dennis DeJordy. And now I'm going to do just a straight 1d6 roll to see whether the defense is C or D for this game. And it is going to be a C, actually. So Chicago with the C and a C, pretty straightforward, easy to remember. Over for St. Louis here, I have the D. I'll just roll again the D6 to see if it's going to be a D or E for this game. And with a 6, that means that St. Louis will have an offensive E for this game. And I suppose I will roll to see with Turek and McLennan to see if maybe McLennan will get a start. I like McLennan. 53, so that does mean that Turek actually, though only barely, will get the start here. And let's see, B or C for the defense. That comes out to a C, actually, for the defense. So basically, I'm looking now at this chart, and St. Louis is EC, Chicago is CC. I'll do Chicago first. Again, just looking straight CC for Chicago up against St. Louis. So team offense C and C, that's just going to be a 0. They will roll on column 0. And sorry, I guess that isn't all most visible there. I wanted the shootout logo to show on this as well. Let me try to, no, okay, maybe I shouldn't mess with that. Maybe I'll pull this back a little there. And then you can't see Chicago, St. Louis. So there is no perfect setup. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go with what I have. So sorry that you can't. That's cut off a little at the bottom there. But actually, that doesn't really matter because come to think of it, sorry, I did say, yes, I did say column 0. I apologize for that. So immediately I should correct myself and point out that it is, in fact, row 0 that I'm rolling on here and not column 0. Again, I've only played 2 games. This is game 3. And so row 0 is what I'm looking at here, and this column will show me the number of goals scored. And after a sip of iced coffee there, I'll continue to just point out that St. Louis here with team offense C, Chicago with goalie defense and team defensive of C. So EC is going to be -2 for St. Louis and 0 for Chicago. Anyway, I have this geared up. I've done a couple of practice rolls. This is the most recent of my practice rolls. So I should point out, and again, sorry, that isn't the most visible, but here, the 11 and the 12 would mean that this would be a scoreless period actually for both teams. And 7:58 would be the time of the goal scored if there was a goal scored. So I have it set up here to roll. Probably what I will do actually is just do 3 rolls where I'm only looking at the left column here for Chicago and the right column for St. Louis. Sorry, that's a little distracting actually with the blue and the red. I was going to go straight blue, visitor, and red home, but then I don't know, Chicago, the red just feels a little more appropriate in St. Louis. You know what, actually, I can change this really quickly. So let me go into settings here with ball roller and move that across like so, and then I can go and I'll change this to red real quick here, and then I can change St. Louis over to blue so the colors look a little more team appropriate, I guess. And yeah, I'll save that. Okay, good, and it shows up right where it was. Okay, so first period, let's see how many goals each team is going to score in the first period. And again, I'm looking at -2 for St. Louis, the row -2 for St. Louis, and row 0 for Chicago. So in period 1, 83 for Chicago and 6 for St. Louis. So the Blackhawks here dominant early. 83 for the Blackhawks on row 0 will mean 2 goals scored for Chicago, and that's 6. That's going to be a 0 for St. Louis. So it is 2-0 Chicago after 1. Let's see. Okay, and this is period 2. So in period 2, Chicago is shut down. Roman Turek finds his game, and St. Louis with 32. Again, I'm looking here at 2 below, so it is actually 2-0 Chicago after 2 periods. So let's see here for period 3. With a 73 and a 5, Chicago again comes up big in period 3. 29 to 74, so that's just under having 2 goals scored. So what we're looking at here is a 3-0 contest here for Chicago. And I guess I've made a mental note. They scored 2 in the first, and then the second period was scoreless, and they scored 1 here in the third period. Shutout here for Dennis DeJordy. So I think what I will do now, or I know what I will do now actually, is just roll and get 2 times here. And I'll put them in order. So 1648, again, I hope that you're able to see that sum. That is 1. And then 930. So 930 and 1648 for period 1. So also what I will do now is I'm going to look and see who scored. Maybe I'll put that like so over there. And so flipping and looking here, the goal scorer for Chicago, the first goal of the contest, Bill Hay, veteran Bill Hay there for the Blackhawks. I think 66-67 was his final season. Bill Hay gets the first goal at 9.5 minutes into the first period. I'm looking at L3D2, though Bill Hay is on line 4, so we'll take line 4. There is no player 6 for the first assist. There is no player 6, so it's going to be Bill Hay unassisted, 9.5 minutes into the contest. They're putting Chicago up by 1. And with the second goal scored in the first period, the one that was scored, I think I said 1648. I'll play this back. That's probably Bobby Hall. Indeed it is. Robert Hall. Our Hall there with the goal. And assisting it, I'm looking at L1D2, though technically Hall is on line 2 there. So L2D2. R5, that's Phil Esposito. So Hall from Esposito and the right wing, Chico Mackey. Hall from Esposito and Mackey at 1648, I believe, of the first period. And again, the second was scoreless, so I just need to roll for one more time. And that's, I'm looking at 753, so it's 753 in period 3, because basically what I do, I have it geared up a D20, a D6, and a D10, but there's no base 1, so the numbers all would go from 0 to 19, 0 to 5, and 0 to 9, respectively. So, goodness, what did I say? The Chico Mackey, that was the second assist, so I have to see here. Scoring the third goal for the Chicago Blackhawks is Phil Esposito, so his second point of the night. L3D1, I'm looking at L2D1 for assist. Then right defenseman, that's Pat Stapleton. So it's Esposito from Stapleton, and left wing, Bobby Hall. So Bobby Hall and Esposito, each with a pair of points in a 3-0 Chicago victory there over St. Louis. And back with the 1996 Detroit Red Wings going up against the 2011 Vancouver Canucks. I think I'll just leave all the colors as is. Detroit, their away offense is either a C or a D. I'll do a 1D6 to see what exactly it is. With a 6, that means they will have a D. Detroit's coming off a 5-3 win over the 1967 Chicago Blackhawks, and Vancouver tied the 2000 St. Louis Blues in the first games of this round-robin portion of the tournament. So again, Detroit here with the away offense of a D. And I'll roll to see if it's Osgood or Vernon here. 63, that's going to be... that's going to be Mike Vernon. Okay, so Mike Vernon. And let's see if Vernon is defending at a D or a C. That's another 6, so another C. So Detroit rather with a D and a C here. DC for Detroit, DC Detroit. Just trying to remind myself, make a quick mental note of that. Over to Vancouver I go, where it's C1 or D. Home offense, that will be a D home offense. And so DC Detroit and D, let's see if it's going to be Luongo or Schneider. It will be Roberto Luongo, and Luongo, I'm going to roll once more to see if it's a B or a C for the offense, and that will be for the defense rather, and that will be a C. So, it's going to be, I said D, C, it's DC for both, DC for Detroit and then DC for Vancouver. That should be relatively straightforward. D offense and then a C defense would be -1 for Detroit and Vancouver, I believe, as well, D and C there. So they're each going to be rolling here on row -1, row -1. So for the first period, again, quick click, Detroit's on this side, Vancouver's on that side. Let's see what we get here in period 1. I won't look at the time until after the fact. I'm going to add in the goals after the fact. So here in period 1, 76 Detroit and Vancouver with a 70. We're going to get some scoring early. I'm looking at 38 to 79. It's going to be a 1-1 game here after 1. So I guess if I'm going to have the cards out, might as well switch them as I go here, as I play. Okay. All right, so it's 1-1 here after 1-1 and second period. In the second period, 20 and 33, it might be a scoreless second period. Indeed it is, so it's still 1-1 after 1. Now on to the third period. Okay, and in the third period, 66 Detroit and 10 Vancouver. I think that's going to mean a 2-1 win here for Detroit. 66, that will, so I'll put it here officially. In case anyone's looking but not really listening. That'll be so it's a 2-1 win for the Detroit Red Wings here in period three. A few low scoring games here in a row. 3-0 Chicago over St. Louis. Game two was a 1-1 tie between Vancouver and St. Louis. Game one had a fair bit of goal scoring, though. The 67 Blackhawks up against the 96 Red Wings. And so this one here being game four, again, this is a 2-1 final verdict here, Detroit over Vancouver. And so it was 1-1 in period one. So let me get a couple of times here off the clock. 8 seconds. Okay, so 8 seconds into the first period, a goal was scored. And at 9:41, a second goal was scored. So let's see who got the goal 8 seconds in. Now for this one, again, the other one was a straight shutout. I'm going to use Dave Gardner's odd even to see, just to determine who actually scored the first goal. I'll do a straight D6 through the tower and 3. So he went odd on the road and even at home. So I'm going to say Detroit scored just 8 seconds into the contest. Let's see who was able to just barrel in on Luongo and just catch him cold. B on Detroit, that is Slava Kozlov on their first line there, Vyacheslav Kozlov, and assisting on his goal there early on. I'm looking at L1D1, so Kozlov can't assist on his own goal. And so Kozlov, unassisted, must have wrested it away from Henrik Sedin in a complete individual effort. Came in on Luongo and fooled him there just 8 seconds in. So at 9 minutes and 41 seconds of the first period, player D, and of course this is Vancouver with the tying goal, so Henrik Sedin tying it up here for Vancouver. L3DB, I'll actually look at L1DB. R5, so it's going to be Henrik from Daniel and defense bench. Let's see. I see Alberts on there. I think it's Andrew Alberts. So I'll say that, yeah, Henrik Sedin from Daniel Sedin and Andrew Alberts here at 9:41 of the first period. And then in the third period, Detroit's game-winning goal. Roll for the time that goal was scored at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. And scoring that game-winning goal, player A, so Sergei Fedorov, L1D2, Fedorov from D2 right defenseman, Konstantinov, and Fedorov is the left wing. So Fedorov from Konstantinov in period 3. And there you have it, 2-1 Detroit over Vancouver. And Vancouver, coming off that loss, I've decided has to go straight into on the road and into Chicago to take on the 67 Blackhawks. So I just wanted to do a quick pause and sip there. So lost my train of thought, though, in doing so. Was I going to say, yeah, it is just a 12-game round-robin schedule is what I was going to say. So I really feel like, I can just sort of make it up as I go in my head. Basically, each team is going to play each other twice, once at home and once on the road. I don't think I can screw that up. At least I should hope not. So Vancouver away, they're looking at D or E. I'll do a straight D6. And that's going to be an E there for Vancouver's offense. Let's roll for Luongo or Schneider. 52, that's going to be Corey Schneider, actually. So Corey Schneider, maybe something happened to Luongo. Maybe he pulled something there in that game against Detroit. And so I'm going to roll here to see if it's a C or D defense for Vancouver. And that'll be a C. So they're looking at EC for this game is Vancouver. EC Vancouver. Try to keep that in mind. EC Vancouver. Chicago at home, either B or C. That's a C. So C for Chicago. Let's see if it's DeJordy or Hall this time. DeJordy coming off the shutout. I'm really tempted to make the executive or coach's decision and just put DeJordy rather. And actually, I think yeah. I'm just gonna roll. Let's see here. 45, that's actually Hall. So Glenn Hall will get the start here. Maybe Chicago will alternate. And rolling for a C or a D. Come to think of it, was it Hall or DeJordy in the last game? 6, so that's D there for Hall. So Chicago could have a poor game defensively here. I'm looking at ED then for Vancouver, and ED is going to be a -1. Pretty straightforward, actually, with these letters. So letters and the way everything, if I'm doing it correctly, and I'm pretty sure that I am, the way that everything matches up here. And then here, so Vancouver's looking at -1. Chicago, a C, and Vancouver's defense also a C, so Chicago will be looking at 0. So it's basically, yeah, -1 up against 0 if I have everything correct. And so it's going to be a straight roll here. Let's see that, double checking here, E versus D, and then the C versus the C. Yes, okay. Vancouver -1, Chicago 0. Vancouver not getting anything going, and Chicago, for that matter, with the 0, they just miss out on a goal also. So it's scoreless after 1. Lots of low-scoring games here. These are 2D10s. I should, yes, they are. I could double check, but I know they are. 26 and 28. So We're scoreless after 2 periods here, so this is a showdown between Schneider and Glenn Hall. And finally, they're an 87 and a 55, so the scoring opens up in period 3. I don't play overtime, so if it's a tie, it's a tie. I'll look at Vancouver first. Vancouver -1, that's going to be a pair of goals for the Canucks in period 3. And with the 55, that will just be the one for Chicago. So a bit of a, no, I can't really say a surprise result. Again, these are all pretty much all-time great teams. Vancouver 2 and Chicago 1 here in period 3. And so let's get 3 times off the clock and put them in order. 14-14, 16-22, and 105. So early in the third period, let's see if it was Vancouver or Detroit. It was Vancouver scoring early in the third. And player A for Vancouver, that's Daniel Sedin. Daniel Sedin from, I'm going to take L1D1. Sedin from Alex Burrows. And yes, just Sedin from Alex Burrows here at 105 of the third period. The second time that I said there was 14-14. And so let's see, I suppose it could have been Vancouver again. It was Detroit actually tying the game at 14-14 with player B, or sorry, I said Detroit. Goodness, did I say Detroit more than once? If I said Detroit, I meant Chicago. So player B is Stan Mikita scoring there 14-14 for Chicago, and L2D2, so I'm looking at L1D2. That's Ed Van Imp and some Mikita from Van Imp, and let's see anyone else. No, center is Mikita. So it was Daniel Sedin from Alex Burrows, Stan Mikita from Ed Van Imp, and let's see who got the other one at 16-22. It's player Q on Vancouver. Player Q is Alex Burrows. Alex Burrows with the game-winning goal. L3D2, so I look at L1D2, left wing, Daniel Sedin. Alex Burrows from Daniel Sedin, 2-1 Vancouver. All right, I think I'll try to blitz one more out here quickly before I go to lunch and then go to work. So let's see here. I decided to put St. Louis on the road here against Detroit for simplicity's sake. The blue and the red cards, they're already being ready. So St. Louis, let's see here. Away defense, either D or E. It's going to be E this game. And starting in goal for the St. Louis Blues will be... That's going to be Roman Turek, and Roman Turek with a defense of B. So I'm looking at EB there for St. Louis, EB. And for Detroit, let's see here, either B or C. That will be a B. So EB for St. Louis and B, Osgood, and 2, BB. So EB versus BB. That should heavily favor Detroit here. Let's see if it does. If that's the kind of score that we produce. So E up against B, I'll do St. Louis's first. E team offense up against, they're rolling on -3. Wow, so they need a greater than a 59 in a period roll just to even score in that period. And for Detroit, it's going to be B up against B, which will just be a roll. I'll just be rolling there on row 0. Okay, so away we go. First period. 98 for Detroit, 98 for Detroit. I'm just so tempted to look there first. That's going to be a trio of goals there for the Red Wings. And with 29 for St. Louis, and again, St. Louis E and B, they are looking, and I just want to double check to make sure I have everything correct. Yeah, they're looking at row -3. So, yeah, so it's 3-0 Detroit after 1. Let's see here. Detroit eager to play their way back into the League of Champions and Presidents. In period 2, though, it's so zeros across the board there in period 2. In period 3 with a 34, so I think St. Louis will be shut out here. 34 for Detroit. Again, I'm looking at column 0, so there will be one more goal there for the Red Wings. This one's going to be a 4-0 shutout game. Chris Osgood there with the shutout, and let's see who actually scored Detroit's goals. They had 3 in period 1. The first goal, well, maybe not the first one, but 14-17. 14:47, so 2 in 30 seconds, and 2:31. So scoring at 2:31 for the Red Wings. I guess I should move that so it's a bit more visible there. Player I for Detroit getting the first goal. Player I is Darren McCarty, and that will mean, so I'm looking at L2D2 for assist. Right defenseman, D2 right defenseman, Konstantinov, McCarty from Konstantinov, and then Yzerman getting all assists there. McCarty from Konstantinov and Yzerman at 2:31 of period one. Then there were 2 goals scored in 30 seconds. So at 14:17, player J on the Detroit Red Wings is Paul Coffey. Paul Coffey at 14:17. I'm looking at L1D1 here to award assist. L1 center is Igor Larionov, and 6, that's Sergei Fedorov. So it's Coffey from Larionov and Fedorov at 14:17. 30 seconds later, it was player R on Detroit, Martin Lapointe there, Marty Lapointe on line 4. And I'm looking at L4, D2 then, R5. There is no R5 on D1 or D2 or line 4 for that matter. And I get the line there coming up. So I'm going to say Lapointe, and he's XL for assists. So good thing he was the goal scorer from Greg Johnson and Doug Brown there at 14:47 to period 1. And there was one more scored in the third period. And it was scored at 11:49, scored by Sergei Fedorov, his second point of the night. And Fedorov, I'm looking at L1D1 here in the assist. Fedorov left wing, he can't. Well, okay, so it's Fedorov unassisted there, an individual effort in period 3. 4-0 Detroit's your final score. I think I will cap it at that number of games now. So with the 4 games, it brings me up to the 6 of the 12 games played in the round robin. So I've just played 1/3 of a tournament here in 20 minutes, and that's with me talking. I could have probably cut the time in half or close to it if I would just had the camera turned off and was just rolling and flipping away. So as you can see here, I mean, it's called Shootout Easy. I might say, I might even add to it Shootout XL, for acceleration or accelerated or something like that. It is, as you can see there, it's quite straightforward and it's quite a fast playing hockey game. And I just wanted to get it to the table and also get it on camera and just kind of show how it's done and get a good chunk of my Tournament of Presidents done and out of the way. I will be back with the Tournament of Presidents probably. What I will do, I think maybe next week I will play, I don't know, 1 or 2 of like the final games, basically the final, once the round robin teams are all seeded, 1st through 4th. And this is why I thought I would do the round robin with the easy version, because it doesn't actually impact the teams all that much. It's just for seeding. And so 1 will play 4 in a best 2 of 3, and then 2 will play 3 in a best 2 of 3. Philadelphia, actually, the 1985 Philadelphia Flyers, they came in 4th place. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think both teams that came in 4th place in the previous off-season tournament ended up entering into the League of Champions and Presidents. So really the round robin, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I thought it would be the perfect way to, I just think it's sort of a fair way, as fair as I can think of, to seed the teams into those best 2 of 3 semis and finals. And of course, home ice advantage, 2 of 3 go home to the teams that finish 1st and 2nd. So it does mean something, but I just figured this would be a good way to test play this, to test out this Shootout Easy. So anyway, with all of that said, again, it's to lunch and to work for me. And anytime that you give anything like this any consideration, it's never expected, but it's very much appreciated. And again, just want to add to that, thank you very much. Very grateful for the support that the channel's received recently. I have noticed, and I am very appreciative of that. So, all right, thank you. Bye for now.